Today, Tamil Nadu had some bad news because the US tariff hike has hit us with 50%. This is especially hard for Tiruppur's textile hub. And our chief minister, Mr. Stalin, has said that it could cause a trade impact of nearly 3,000 crores and put thousands of jobs at risk. Now, if you see from Tiruppur, we have nearly 45,000 crore in exports, and with us is the General Secretary of Tiruppur Exporters Association, Mr. Thirukkumaran, who's going to break it down for us. So, can you tell us what will be the immediate ground level impact of the US Trump tariff hike?
Yeah, good afternoon. Well, I'll tell you, Tiruppur is exporting, as you said, 45,000 crores to US, and out of that, 50, to all over the world, and we are out of that, 15,000 crores is for the US market, and 35% of exports. There are companies, three categories you can categorize. One is doing 100% exposure to US. One is around 50 to 80%. Another is are doing for other markets. So basically, we have around 60 to 70% with some sort of exposure to the US. So on the impact, what you will have, what we have had an immediate impact is, I think the orders are put on hold, as rightly said by our Honorable Chief Minister. 3,000 crores of merchandise are put on hold because every month we export roughly around 1,300 to 1,500 crores. So an order cycle in textile, especially in apparel, in knitted apparel, works for 60 to 90 days. So 2 months of production is being put on hold at the moment. So it's a very critical situation for Tiruppur exporters.
Right, sir. For instance, the chief minister has said that his demand to the union government is for immediate relief and structural reforms to safeguard our industries and workers. But what form would the structural reform take? Like, what do you think the union government could possibly do?
Yeah, the highest tariff hit countries are India and Brazil, 50% with 50%. Brazilian government has given a $5.7 billion package to their exporters. So what is our request to the central government? We have actually, as said by our chief minister, we have appealed through our chief minister, and also we have appealed to the honorable commerce minister and the honorable textile minister directly also. What is the relief package? This immediate relief is to make credit available for MSMEs, because 90% of Tiruppur exporters are MSMEs. So, like the ELGS, Emergency Credit Guarantee Scheme, which was done in COVID, for MSMEs, they should make available that credit very easily. Then moratorium on loans, because I think since the mood was positive up to June, a lot of exporters, because we had feelers from the importers in US right from the starting of the year. We are going to source more from India due to China plus one and political instability in our neighboring country like Bangladesh. So all feelers were, so people went for an expansion mode. So yeah, they have taken a lot of loans to expand their this thing. Suddenly, this trade Trump tariff has made the industry suffer a lot. So a moratorium on loans and interest subvention, that is called interest equalization scheme, which was withdrawn by on 1/1/25 it was withdrawn. We want a 5% interest subvention, which was done during the COVID. Then again, increase the ROSCTL, rebate on state levies and central taxes, from currently is around 4.2, increase it to around 8 to 10%, and also duty drawback. Yesterday, the union government has increased the duty drawback. Another affected industry, gems and jewelries, also increase the duty drawback. At the current moment, it's around 2.3 to 2.4, increase it to 5%. These are our immediate relief which we are requesting from the central government.
Right. So you have talked about loans and how the Indian government could possibly help MSMEs. But can you also talk about like what would then be the new market if not US, but you still have this production capability? Then which new markets will you be targeting?
So our see very it's very difficult to replace U.S. market. I will tell you an example why. Because U.S. is the highest, largest consuming market. We export from Tiruppur 15,000 crores to U.S. and a 27 nation block to Europe. We export 13,000 to 14,000 crores. So the amount of volume what the US can give, other markets is difficult to give. In the long term, this is a short term. Long term will take 2 to 3 years to completely. If you want a replacement on the US market, it's a long term thing. Fast track the FTA with the European Union because there are still talks going on. Fast track that FTA because we will have a level playing field with our competitors like Bangladesh and Vietnam because they have a zero duty to to Europe and 20% duty to US. So create a level playing field. And then also GEC countries. Only we have with the UAE and Oman FTA signed. There are a lot of other countries with the GEC. So sign FTAs with them. So make the pool available. Then also like the identified the market access like do a big way of marketing exporters in countries where they see potential. I think yesterday the union government has identified the 40 sorts of countries. Try to boost, but it's a long term initiative. It's short term is the relief package to get out of these problems.
And do you think Trump's policies are specifically designed to cripple China and India and possibly, benefit like countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, and the Southeast Asia? Like because it seems like he's going much more easy on them than on us.
No, what I'll tell you, what Mr. Trump thinks, only he knows because he keeps on changing his stance every now and then. It's not. It is for the U.S. president. It's quite often he changes his stance, so it's difficult to judge him. But he's very soft on going. Recently, he's gone soft on China because China has the leverage, rare earth minerals, and certain supply chains they have to depend on China. So he's gone soft on China. His easy target is India because we always believe on diplomacy. We don't retaliate. So that is one thing he's taken a target on us. And I don't know, Brazil is his personal reasons he's targeted countries like Brazil. And I think he's taking leverage on because he's made supply chains open wherever it's needed for America, and he's trying to make trying to dictate terms with countries like India.
Right, sir. Can you also tell us about like the cotton knitwear exports? I believe Tirupur handles 90% of India's cotton knitwear exports. So, there's this global shift, right, with the China plus one strategy. So, how are you seeing expansion into man-made fibers, technical textiles, and, other product categories apart from, natural fibers?
Yeah. See, for man-made fibers, we Tiruppur Exporters Association, we very focus on man-made fibers because that's the future. Because 60% of world's consumption is man-made fibers. So what we have done is India has a very weak processing link on the man-made fibers. So we are getting investments. We are trying to. Tamil Nadu government is also helping us in getting investments from Taiwan. We had a summit last month in Coimbatore for 2 days. So all these entrepreneurs from Taiwan came into Tiruppur. We focus now. Our focus is now on man-made fibers because I think there should be a shift to be competitive with the other rest of the world. See, what I can also say, we are now pulling out some fabrics from China and duplicating in India. So once that's what we are also requested both the union government and also our state government for technology upgradation fund to create some sort of a fund where whenever you upgrade your old technologies to new man-made fibers, because man-made fiber requires separate processing techniques. So the machines have to be upgraded. So that for that we have requested the help of the union government and the state government. And moreover, like as I said, now there is already a 10% increase what we did last year man-made fibers in Tirupur.
Right, sir. So the chief minister today also spoke about the impact on jobs. So I believe the industry directly employs some 600,000 people, and it could be a couple of more lakhs when you talk about indirect employment. And I believe more than 65% of this is women. So what are you seeing going forward? Will there be, like, with the crunch in demand, will then you have lesser number of shifts, or are we going to look at layoffs? So how will you address concerns around protecting livelihoods of women dependent on the garment sector?
Yeah, now see, now as I said, till last week we were pushing out shipments as much as can, because that additional 25% started applying from Wednesday, like yesterday. From yesterday it started applying 27th. So we're trying to push out. See, a lot of people, what we are doing, as you said, that inventory pile is there. They're trying to negotiate with the customer, but customer is asking a very big discount, which is very difficult for the MSME to absorb. So the real impact of the any layoffs will be known only in the next 3 to 4 weeks time. So at the moment but I think our chief minister is right in pointing out that the if this issue is not resolved or a relief package is not given to the exporters, you might see layoff in the near future.
Also, isn't the garment industry also connected with other things? That, for instance, there's the MFIs who give loans to these women. There's the children's education dependent on this. So there's like a whole bigger circle that's dependent on the livelihoods. Like Tirupur seems to be like one of the industrial heartbeats of Tamil Nadu, right? So how do you see the overall impact of this for the state?
Yeah, it's a very good question, because I think India's textile, Tamil Nadu is having 27%. Tamil Nadu's share is 27%. Is more. It will be greatly affected than any other state in India. So our chief minister was right in appealing to the union government again. As I said, it's an ecosystem, complete ecosystem. But we are trying to not to lay off as much as we can, because there are some certain standpoints, because I think the next 2-3 weeks will be very critical. If at all, if a relief package doesn't come, or we don't resolve the trade dispute with the US, and then job losses or layoffs will be inevitable, because I think the brunt, there are some level of percentage the MSME units can handle. So we sincerely hope that a relief package arrives soon, or the trade issue with the US is solved as quickly as possible.
Right, sir. So before we end, I wanted to ask you about your green initiatives, because I believe you've now started recycling a majority of your water consumption, and you also have large-scale renewable energy units, and you've also been planting trees. So all this, I'm guessing, is towards the ESG goals. And I realize that for export markets like the Europe, it's more attractive, like, if you can show that you've been following ESG norms. So is this initiative strategic, or is this something that you feel strongly about, the Tiruppur Association,
See,
sustainability, long-term sustainability?
sustainability comes within yourself. See, just to first come, then only you care of the environment so it is a initiative, both on their own and also strategic. Both ways you can put. But as I'll tell you, the only cluster, a textile cluster in the world, as a cluster, they can be individual units, but as a cluster, the only cluster in the world which is environmentally, socially governed is Tirupur. Why, I'll tell you, because we recycle 130 million liters of water every day, and 96% is reused. That's almost 50% of Tamil Nadu's water consumption, domestic water consumption. So we are not depleting the water level. We produce, the entrepreneurs from Tirupur produce 1,950 megawatts of renewable energy, either by solar or wind, and we use only 350 megawatts as a cluster. The rest is given to the Tamil Nadu electricity grid. We have planted around 2.2 million trees. and also with a survival rate of 90%. And also we have distilled around 10 to 12 lakes, out of which one lake called Nanjarayan Lake has been named the 17th bird sanctuary of Tamil Nadu in 2022. So, see, this much of environment and also giving back to the society is within the Kongu region. You call this Tiruppur, Karur, or Coimbatore as the Kongu region. It is within our gene. So we always care for the society. A lot of schools, government schools, are adopted by the units here, and also giving to hospitals, building hospitals, primary health centers. Even you could have heard the initiative we have now building with a public-private partnership. An 80 crore worth of cancer hospital is being built in the Tiruppur government hospital. So this much of what we give back to the society is also important.
Right, sir. Got it. So, any closing thoughts on the Trump tariff? Something that you feel we haven't covered so far before we wind up?
We are hopeful, still hopeful that because I think for US, I think they are taking this as a they are trying to show their anger on India rather than China, and I think we are feeling the burn. We are still hopeful that we will reach an agreement. The only problem is when, because that is one thing. And if at all we that this dispute is prolonging, I think government has to handhold especially the affected sectors like textiles, gems and jewelry, and footwear. Again, as you said, another one thing in Tamil Nadu is also dependent. Vellore district is a lot of footwear industry is also there. So I think it is the union government has to handhold us till the crisis is over.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for talking to us, and I'm sure viewers found your insights valuable. So, thank you so much.